Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's review is an album from 1985, I believe. China Crisis, Flaunt The Imperfection. I believe this is their third album. So this group came out in, I think they're from Scotland or UK. I always forget which exact place. I think it's Scotland. Might be UK though. But came out in like 80, 81, and they have a really good mix of a lot of different genres, and they pull it off really well as far as all the things that they can do in their musicmanship, and some fairly good songwriting, good producing, some good instrument playing, like some solid production. This album definitely benefits from a really strong recording and producing um, help as well. Um, Walter Becker from Steely Dan was sort of a member of the band, sort of producer of this album. So it certainly gave helped give this album a really good sound, and you can kind of see why. Um, I don't know if how that relationship worked out to where they did that, but I can see why they were impressed. Why Walter was impressed by them. I mean, it sounds like a. I've recommended this album to a lot of people over the years, and it almost sounds like a Scottish new wave version of Aja. Like it's got that kind of really classy production. It's probably a little too new wave for fans of Steely Dan, but I think if you like Northern Soul, if you like, we call it Blue Eyed Soul, and there's a little bit of jazz in there, but it's mostly new wave, and there's electronic, but there's nice groove, a lot of moody music in there. It's well sung. Everybody plays their instruments really well. They hit the mark on a lot of different styles, and this album is a good example of that. So we're gonna go into the review of this album. This is my original copy here, 1985 Virgin Records. Flaunt The Imperfections. Really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed this album over the years. Um, so the first track, the highest high, it almost has a ska bounce to it, and there's a couple tracks on here that has a little bit of a reggae slash. It's a very light sort of ska influence to it, but it's very minute. You kind of have to catch it by the tempo and the rhythm of the drums, and just the kind of groove. The song has some good sounds on it. It's fun. It's catchy. That's another thing about them. They're very catchy. This track is a little corny, but that's a slight scrutiny of it. But I have this track rated 2.5 stars. So really good track. Track two, Strength the Character. This one also has sort of a reggae glide to it. So smooth. The piano is amazing. Chorus is so smooth. Also, nice saxophone. That's another thing about the art about this band, that they play a lot of instruments. Um, Guitar, synthesizer, Moog, sax, horns. A lot of catchy guitar riffs and strong bass line, keyboards. Just they throw a lot. They throw a lot in the mix. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say there's 4 or 5 members in the band. I know there's kind of like 3 hardcore ones, but I think they have some session players playing on their stuff, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So it's not surprising to hear 6 or 7 different people playing on a song, playing different instruments. I mean, some songs have a lot going on, and they do a really good job of blending everybody in, and everybody kind of getting their highlight, even if it's a short song. Um, Strength of Character, really strong song. Got 3.5 stars. Track number three, You Did Cut Me. Smooth, funky, also sax, bass. keyboards, guitars. It's kind of a lounge jam to the max. It's kind of the verses are really smooth. Again, it's got that blue-eyed soul sound. Really strong guitar solo at the end. Also, I got 3.5 stars. Um, and then one of the singles for the album, Black Man Ray. Is it a mandolin that's in the song? I have to look up that. I was listening to it again, and I was like, I never really. It kind of has like a Japanese theme, a Japanese sound to it, and I'm like, is this a mandolin? I was like, I'm not up on my mandolin sounds, but I think it's a mandolin. Um, it's really catchy chorus. It makes you want to sing along. It's really a good song. I may not like it as much as like a longtime China Crisis fan, but I definitely say it's a very good song. I got it 3.25 songs, but I did like Strength of Character and You Did Cut Me, the two tracks before. I like those a little bit better. And then Wall of God, nice, good groove on it. It's not really on the level of the other songs in here, but it's still good. I got 2.25 stars. Gift of Freedom, which starts the second half of the album. Lots of good grooves on this album, and this is another one. The chorus pushes over the top for me. It was kind of petering on kind of a good song, and considering the strong instrumental that kind of rounded it out, and then the end, last chorus and stuff, it kind of pushed me over the limits, and I have to give it a 3 stars. Um, I might be, and sometimes that's the thing. Sometimes you listen to albums and you're trying to be really critical, and then you're just like, well, it's a good song, 3 stars. So that's kind of what it kind of did for me. Track number 7. This is, I believe, King in the Catholic Style. I think this was a single. It's not a bad song. It's catchy, but it's kind of corny for me. The keyboard sound is a little corny. It's they can do better. And when I compare it to the songs that I've already given 3 stars on 4 songs, I can't get there with this song. But it's a good song. I got 2 stars. And then my favorite song on the album, Bigger the Punch I'm Feeling. Jeez, what a catchy song. It's just, it's such a great, like they can jam out. Like they can really do a really well 4-minute um, jam. And it's got like new wave in there and even elements of jazz and stuff. It just, they blend so many styles. It's so cool. Um, I put exclamation the claps. I love when tracks have rhythm that have claps in it. I think that's so cool. Um, Keys and bass is really strong. It's so catchy and groove. Such a good bridge. Smooth, solid chorus. The guitar at the ending. Just, every it's such a strong song, every time every time I hear Bigger the Punch I'm Feeling, it's probably like, I don't know. It's almost like if you ever heard China Crisis, sometimes they can hit like it sound like Simply Red, but new wave, Simply Red, but cooler. I don't know. You know what I mean? I like Simply Red. I think they've had. I can name about like 10, 15 songs I really like by Simply Red over the years. Of course, Mick is a great singer for Simply Red too, and I think this guy's a good singer too. Not as good as Mick, um, but the music on here is just, it's so catchy. It reminds me of, like, again, Simple Minds in a new wave style. The World Spins. I'm part of it. Track number 9. The verses are catchy. It's a little corny. That sometimes they can get into a little bit of corny kind of sound. I don't mind it too much, but it's definitely like, this isn't as good as the other one. Um, the bridge and the chorus save it from being good, and it really takes it higher. I can't really say it's a very good song, but it's as close as possible. I got 2.75 stars, so it won me over by the end. Blue Sea. Um, coincidentally, this is the song that made me a fan of China Crisis. Blue Sea. I really like this song. It's my second favorite song on the album. the melody, the singing, the effects. It's got like waves in the background and the keyboards, and it's just a beautiful song. And the way and it's the perfect song to kind of end the album. I got it right under excellent at 3 3/4 stars. So really strong song. Again, my second favorite of the album. So when you look at the overall good of the album, lots of excellent sounds. Great blend of melodic, funky, lounge band, pop music, jazz, blue-eyed soul. I mean, there's really also a lot of good songs. I mean, there's six of the 10 songs I rated 3 stars or better. So 6 of the 10 songs are very good or better. Um, it's 43 minutes. Oh, again, the production, the mixing is really strong. Walter Becker did a really good job on this. If you're a big Steely Dan fan, um, not me, but I do like Donald Fagen's 1993 solo album, but I'm not really there on. I like Donald Fagen's what is it, his '83 album also, the one with the picture on the cover. But I like their production. I like their some of them have some good grooves, but it's a little too AM for me. Like I really like China Crisis because they kind of inject a little bit of um, new wave into them, and also like more keyboards and in a way kind of a different kind of funk, but just as funky. If not maybe more than Steely Dan. I mean, I'm not a huge Steely Dan fan, so I'm not really gonna compare them on that level when it comes to funk, but probably a different kind of funk. But I really like China Crisis just overall. But thanks to Walter Becker, I'm sure he helped it, made the album sound really well. So, excuse me, really good. But nice, concise pop album. 43 minutes, 10 songs, so nice length for a pop album. Overall, it's just a really relaxing, catchy, groovy, and sometimes beautiful album. Um, to the overall score, I added a couple points to the overall score just because of the unique instruments, the timeless sound, the groove, and the catchiness. Um, when I think about the opportunities or maybe what's bad on the album, nothing really. Just possibly a deeper, moody song would have been nice thing to add. Maybe a little bit more depth. Considering the sounds that are on this, and considering the last song like Blue Sea and the kind of moodiness of Black Man Ray, and maybe there would have been an opportunity for like a kind of a unique instrumental or something like that, or I would have liked to just hear one of these songs kind of maybe develop into a 5, 6, 7 minute song, or maybe something a little deeper. Maybe that could have been something cool because all the sounds here are really good, and the production and the album sounds really strong. So maybe that could have been a nice thing to do, but I'm not docking any points there. It's just maybe an opportunity that to make the album a little longer and do maybe a 11th track and kind of a long one. Maybe something different on there. Maybe even sort of a ballad. There's really not necessarily a ballad on here. Um, but yeah, when I add up the points on the stars, I have a 30.5 stars. So averaged by 10 songs, that's 3.05 stars per average. So over a very good score, and that kind of goes with rating 6 of the 10 tracks very good or above. And so considering that rating, that's those stars from where somewhere around like 70, 71, 72 would be a good score out of 100. But I pumped it up a little bit because just the overall fun of this album and the groove and the catchiness again, the timeless sounds and the unique instruments. And I don't think there's anything like really in depth in here, but there's a lot of catchy songs in here and a lot of good production. So I give it a couple extra stars and overall, and I got it 76 out of 100. So really strong album. Um, Probably my favorite China Crisis. There's a lot of songs I like by China Crisis. A lot of songs, especially all from 1980 to 86, 87. You know, they have a lot of, I think they had 5 albums at that time, and there's a lot of good songs. I like a lot of their instrumentals, and they have some good B-sides, and a lot of good songs and a lot of unique songs. And yeah, so, but I still probably would probably guess that Flaunt the Perfection was my first record by them, and it's probably still my favorite. But you know, we'll see that when I get to ranking the other ones. But wanted to get my first China Crisis on the board, and thought I'd start with Flaunt the Perfection since it was my first album I heard from them. So yeah, 76 out of 100 for Flaunt the Perfection from 1985. All right, thanks so much for watching. Just curious, what's your rating out of this out of 100, and what are your favorite 3 songs? Mine are Blue Sea, Bigger the Punch I'm Feeling, and probably in between You Did Cut Me and Strength of Character. Probably Strength of Character is my favorite, third favorite on this album. So yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.